All right, folks, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Let's go ahead and get airborne. Welcome aboard my presentation called Trading the Death Star. This is going to be awesome, action-packed. I believe we have 55 minutes, so we're going to hit that right on time, right on target, ladies and gentlemen. So real quick reminder, I'm not a registered investment advisor, not a registered broker-dealer. Don't even pretend to play either one of those roles on television. But options or trading, investing of any kind involves risk. So make sure you talk to one of those folks before you ever fire any real capital or risk anything. And along those lines, if you buy something because Larry David from Seinfeld told you, or Tom Brady, a fool and their money are soon parted. Before I got on the air, I just saw that big class action lawsuit against a bunch of folks in the crypto space. So that's about to get interesting. So real quick, make sure you silence your electronic nicotine and no distractions for the next 55 minutes because you've never heard what I'm about to tell you. I guarantee you've actually heard the exact opposite of what I'm about to tell you. Why is this presentation called Trading the Death Star? Because I'm going to tell you about the only stock you need to own. And that might lose half of you right now. And I'm going to get you back because this is the only stock you need to own, trade, invest in for the rest of your life. And I call it the Death Star because this name is literally taking over everything it touches, from technology to healthcare to entertainment, you name it. This stock is it. And you don't need to invest in anything again. So my name is Matthew Buckley, folks. I'm from Top Gun Options, a little bit of an aviation theme or fighter jet theme to what I do at Top Gun Options. So we're going to lead with that today. And I'm going to ask you, which fighter aircraft would you rather fly? Okay, this is going to be your first choice. I want you to take a look at that cockpit real quick. Over 300 switches and dials in that cockpit. This is the cockpit of an F-4 Phantom. Beautiful airplane on the ground and in the air. It can move fast and all that type of stuff. But folks, take a look at that. As an F-18 pilot, looking at this picture actually gives me the shakes. It gives me agita. Just a very labor-intensive aircraft, right? Matter of fact, this aircraft was so labor-intensive that they threw another dude in the back seat just to run the radar. Okay, very labor intensive. The pilot would spend a lot of heads down time in the cockpit instead of eyeballs outside of the cockpit looking at what? SAMs, surface air missiles, AAA, anti-aircraft artillery, or, MiGs, enemy aircraft. So very labor intensive aircraft. Okay, so that's your first choice. Or this one. 2 flat panel displays. That's it. Does anybody see any of what we just saw on that last slide, what we call steam gauges? Any steam gauge? Nope. 2 flat panel displays. This is the F-35, the Lightning, the newest, most advanced fighter aircraft on the face of the planet. We actually call this jet the Wonder Woman jet, right? There's so many sensors on the airplane that when the pilot looks down through the aircraft, it's like the Wonder Woman jet. You look through it. You don't see the airplane. You see the ground. The helmet actually looks like Darth Vader, ladies and gentlemen. Everything is projected on to the visor. The pilot looks at something, he or she can shoot it. And you want to get creeped out a little bit? These aircraft are actually learning. They are learning. Well, the pilot looked here at this point in the mission, so I'm going to take a note of that. This airplane is so smart that it actually minimizes the amount of information that it shows pilots during different portions of the flight. It's learning and it's creeping me out. So obviously the choice is clear. You would rather fly the F-35 Lightning. What's this have to do with trading? Everything. Trading is a form of combat, folks. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to get their ass handed to them. So why wouldn't you use the same methodologies, techniques, procedures, risk management that I used as a fighter pilot? By the end of our brief, I'm going to give you an up-to-date intelligence brief. Made $4,500 yesterday off a Ukrainian missile hitting Poland. No, Whiz, it was Russian. No, it wasn't. And I told my members yesterday afternoon at about 2:18, it was a Ukrainian missile, get bullish. And we made $4,500. So I'll give you an up-to-date intelligence brief because I know a lot of what's going on. I'm going to show you the only stock you need to own and also potentially a good substitute to trade if what I'm going to tell you just doesn't compute and you're stuck in your old ways. I'm going to try and break you out of it real quick. Like I said, my name's Matthew Buckley, call sign Whiz. Flew the F-18 Hornet for the Navy for about 15 years, graduated from the Navy Fighter Weapons School adversary course. So I was a bad guy at Top Gun. We'd paint our jets like bad guy jets, and I actually studied the bad guy tactics, what they would fly, how they'd shoot, all sorts of stuff like that. And I train our good guys and gals before they went overseas. Did 2 deployments on the Abraham Lincoln and the Kitty Hawk over Iraq. What's this have to do with trading? Everything. You don't join the Navy to get rich. You join the Navy to serve your country, this once great country. But I was always interested in finance. So I started applying everything I learned as a fighter pilot to my trading, having a strategy, implementing tactics, contingency planning, knowing when to get out of a good or bad situation before it got worse. And it worked incredibly well. I eventually popped up on the radar of one of the largest volatility arbitrage firms in the world. See this right there? Those big, beautiful windows right there. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the Chicago Board of Trade. And ladies and gentlemen, I had an absolute blast when I was up there. That was our trading floor right there. And I helped build a hedge fund when I was there. I helped build the retail brokerage called Options House. And I was the managing director of strategy for this multi-billion-dollar equity options vol arb firm. Also the founder and CEO of the Options News Network. Some of you might remember the Options News Network, ONN.TV. I hosted a bunch of the programs. We'd shoot on the floor of the CBO and the CBOT, and I gave folks like you a behind-the-scenes look into what was going on in the options market. Kind of makes me sound like Valentine in Trading Places, and I kind of was. And to be honest with you, once I got up into the whole Wall Street and the smart money, ain't so smart, folks. Matter of fact, they can be pretty damn dumb. I wrote a book about it called COVID Crash, From Panic to Profit. I predicted the COVID market crash to the day. How did you predict it to the day, Whiz? Well, I sat here in a brief like this, and I saw Donald Trump lie to all of us on a CNBC interview, right? He was with the beautiful people in Davos. And Joe Kiernan, CNBC reporter, kind of a throwaway question towards the end. He's like, hey, Mr. President, one last question. What's up with this whole flu thing in China? And he's like, dumb question. What a waste of a question. Nobody asks dumb questions more than you. Believe me, not coming here. I trust ye. Good backswing. Been to Mar-a-Lago. Not coming here. Dumb question. I looked into this camera on this computer and I said, buy puts on the S&P 500, get long volatility. We are going to implode. How did I know that? I had a little birdie that was actually somewhere and said, dude, it escaped from a level 4 weapons facility. It is coming here and it's going to be a horror. Unlike some senators and congressmen who were insider trading, I outsider traded. I told everybody, and we made millionaires at Top Gun Options. So the smart money ain't that smart, folks. Real quick, also about my background, I run a charity called the No Fallen Heroes Foundation. I have a Max Afterburner podcast. It's in the top 2.5% of podcasts on the face of the planet. So make sure you check out the Max Afterburner podcast, do some charity work. And my biggest passion right now is ending veteran suicide. You can go to nofallenheroes.com and check out the documentary film that we are shooting, producing. It's in production right now about saving veterans' lives through the use, you ready for this, of psychedelic assisted therapy. Me and 4 other brave Americans went down to Mexico and absolutely changed my life. The first time I did the medicine with Marcus Luttrell, who was the lone survivor, wrote a book called Lone Survivor, and obviously the movie. And one of the other guys that I did the medicine with was Jared Taylor, one of the founders of Black Rifle Coffee. It's changed my life in incredible ways. And half of my passion is teaching people how to trade. My real passion from that day forward is saving veterans' lives. 40 44 veterans kill themselves every day, either violently or through drug and alcohol overdoses. It is a national shame. Very rarely do you hear anything about it on the media. You think the president or the VA is going to get up and go, wow, 44 veterans a day are killing themselves. It's awful. Let's do something about it. Instead, we're shoveling another $37 billion over to Ukraine to turn other young men into hair, teeth, and eyeballs. And 60,000 homeless veterans on our streets. Don't get me started. But that's a little bit about who I am and what I do. That's my beautiful bride and my 3 beautiful children. That picture is actually when we left Chicago. Matthew's a little older than that. He's 22, looking to go to Navy officer candidate school, which I don't want him to do. That's my son, Jack. He's a senior in high school, wants to go in the Navy. Don't want him to do that either anymore. And then that's my beautiful daughter, Keely. She's a freshman in high school, and she's not allowed to leave the house. Okay, that's a little bit about me. Let's go ahead and get airborne. Sit up straight. Grab a something to take notes with, because like I said, you've never heard what I'm about to tell you. And this usually is the shocking point in the presentation, or the not shocking point. You ready for this? Let me lay this on you. Wall Street's lying to you. I know, obviously, in the past week or so, it's kind of a dumb statement, right? Because when a guy, I love looking at some of the FTX stuff. I looked through one of their presentations last night. Guaranteed returns of, I think, at least 15% with no risk. I can't even. I'm not gonna spike the football with FTX and crypto. Called it on day one, a Ponzi scheme. It is a Ponzi scheme, folks. But I mean, Wall Street's been lying to you in a different way, let alone all those clowns. Wall Street has been lying to you. You ready for this? How many of you have heard since day one of investing that you can't put all your eggs in one basket, right? It's day one of investing. You have got to do what? You have been told from day one that you have got to diversify. Why is diversification important? The 5 rules to diversify. They scream it in your face that you must diversify. Who has told you that? Who has screamed at your face to tell you that you have to diversify? That dude. Who's that dude or that lady? A broker. Ladies and gentlemen, unless you're from the other side of Mars, you've probably seen the movie Wall Street or The Wolf of Wall Street or Boiler Room or any of those. All right, guys, pick up the phones. Call the little old ladies in tennis shoes and get them out of that stock from yesterday and get them into this one. What's that called? That's called churn. They make money the more you trade, the more names you are in. You mean they don't care about me, Whiz? Okay, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, Wall Street does not give a shit about you or your portfolio. They actually want you in as many names as physically possible. Now, before I even have to look in the chat box and somebody gives me but I trade at Robinhood, right? How many of you are about to say, I trade at Robinhood and I don't pay commissions to brokers? Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not paying a commission, you're not the customer. You're the product. The customers at Robinhood aren't you. They're Ken Griffin at Citadel and Stevie Cohen at SAC Capital. If you sit down at a poker table and go, geez, I wonder who the idiot is, it's you. So stop with the I don't pay a commission. You're not the customer. So ladies and gentlemen, it's a lie. So let me, I'm very direct as a fighter pilot. I have zero time to be fluff. Let me give you the fighter pilot debrief about diversification. Diversification is for stupid people. Now, if that hit you a little wrong, let Warren Buffett clean it up for me. Diversification is a protection against ignorance. It makes very little sense for those who know what they're doing. If you read that slowly, you'll understand that that's it's a protection against ignorance. So the cliff notes for what he just said is diversification is for stupid people. The only name that you have to own for the rest of your life is Amazon. It is in and of itself diversified. It is the Death Star. Let's go ahead and get into it. Look at that chart of Amazon. Amazon's annual revenue continues to grow at 30% a year. I started investing in 1991 as an ensign in the Navy down at Naval Air Station Key West. I sent $25 to the USAA Aggressive Growth Mutual Fund, folks. There's no way in 30 some years of doing this, I would have ever imagined a company could have this type of performance. They do. Look at their annual revenue by business segment. A couple years ago, ladies and gentlemen, let's just call it 9 years ago, AWS didn't even exist, Amazon Web Services. Folks, AWS is essentially Microsoft. It's its own tech company in Amazon. Look at North American International. Everything is growing in Amazon almost straight up. Amazon Prime Day, I think it's like a national holiday. It's like people put it on their calendar and they, it's let's go Christmas shopping type of thing. Now, this slide is really funny. We're going to debrief this slide because on your slide right now is why Democrats and liberals hate Amazon, right? Amazon's revenue versus profit. If you showed me this chart and deleted let's just delete whose chart this is. If you showed me this chart as a smart investor and I looked at this, I'd go sales. Wow, look at the sales of this company, Brand X. I don't know what company it is, but the sales are insane. Then I'd look down here and go free cash flow. Okay, yay. There's their sales. There's their free cash flow. That's interesting. And then I'd look down here at profit, and then I would go, I'm going to short this company into the ground. I'm going to sell the wife and kids and get short this name. And if I did that, I'd be broke. Why? Ladies and gentlemen, what has Jeff Bezos said since day one of Amazon? He's even laughed. He's like, a dividend is stupid. He's like, why would I, quote, give money back to shareholders? Jeff Bezos has always said, if I make $1, I'm going to take that dollar, go buy a competitor, put somebody else out of business, innovate, buy another airplane, do something with it. Jeff Bezos has said, if I make a profit, I failed. Everybody give me a vertical head nod that you understand that. That's why I say Democrats hate Amazon, because they're like, we're going to tax the hell out of Amazon. Amazon's like, yeah, we don't make any money. It's pretty funny. And they just kind of shake their arms and get all pissed off about Amazon. I'm like, that's why I call it the Death Star, folks. Any money it makes, it goes right back into the business. Okay. So you can hate all you want, but this is pretty damn awesome. Real quick, in the service I'm going to brief you on today, with a small account, trading Whiz's Amazon trades netted $8,900 in 1 week. You guys are amazing. I trade a smaller account and have done 22 Amazon trades this year for $31,412 profit. Month to date, Amazon profits, 107 grand with more to go. Thanks, Whiz, for all your expertise and guidance doing day trades with short calls to protect my Amazon profits, learning from the best. And then Anne blew me away with her trading. She did better than I did, which I love. In 3 days, I made $90,000 on short calls against my 30 contracts using Whiz's guidance. Now, I'm not going to sit here and blow sunshine, unicorns, and lollipops. We got to debrief the threats first. What are the risks of trading just a single name, a solo stock? Anybody ever hear of a company called Lehman Brothers? You've probably heard more about it recently because it's FTX. Lehman Brothers, a 150-year-old company gone in a couple of days. Bear Stearns, does the name Bear Stearns sound familiar? Jim Cramer knows Bear Stearns. He loves it. He looked like Khrushchev, some bald, angry guy smashing his shoe on the table. Remember on CNBC? They know nothing. Bear Stearns is safe. Your money's safe at Bear Stearns. It was at 70, and then it was at 0 the next day. Nice job, Jim. Bear Stearns, 0. Pets.com. owned a domain name and a stinky sock. Enron didn't even own the building they were in, folks. We could spend the rest of, the next 30 minutes going through the graveyard of stocks that have gone to zero. I may, unfortunately, have had a couple of those names in my portfolio over the past 30 years. Learned about that. So, what is the common theme with all these names? You ready for this? I'm going to add FTX. Add FTX to solo Amazon, to solo presentation. Whoops. They didn't own a thing. Enron didn't own the building. Stinky sock puppet. Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns, it looks like they didn't even own the sign. They're taking the sign away. Folks, stocks can go to zero. Can Amazon stock go to zero? Of course, anything can go to zero. But ladies and gentlemen, Amazon owns things. Everybody give me a vertical head nod that you know this. I did business consulting, executive coaching down south of Miami at an Amazon fulfillment center. It was bigger than an aircraft carrier with thousands of people running around. It was like an aircraft carrier flight deck. They own real estate. What else do they own? I told you 8 years ago I need to do my research and figure out when I called this. I called this as it happened. Full disclosure, I flew for FedEx for 10 months and I hated it. Got out of the Navy, went to FedEx. I'm like, done. I'm not flying from midnight to 8 in the morning. I need my beauty sleep. Still had a lot of good friends at Amazon. I got a call 8-10 years ago, whenever it was. Dude, you trade? Yeah, what's up? Who's Jeff Bezos? I'm like, he runs Amazon. That company? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I just heard from a guy in corporate that they just leased 5 airplanes. You know what I said? I'm like, he's going to do it. That son of a bitch is going to do it. And he's like, what? I'm like, put you out of business. Harumph. Amazon is now shipping cargo for outside customers in its latest move to compete with FedEx and UPS. Amazon poised to pass UPS and FedEx to become the largest U.S. delivery service by early 2022. What did I tell you, folks? I nailed it. So can Amazon go to zero, the stock? Yeah. It physically can't, though, because it owns things. It's not Bear Stearns. It's not Enron. It's not Pets.com. So Amazon can't go to zero, folks. It's physically impossible. Now, I don't want to give you withdrawals or make you freak out or why is this guy on the screen? Because I'm briefing you on risks. What is the risk of this guy? Well, clearly nothing. You know why? Years ago, I forget, 2016, 2017, I remember waking up and seeing Amazon it completely red. I'm like, whoa, what the hell's going on? Donald Trump woke up in the morning or didn't go to bed, depends on who you believe, with his Adderall, grabbed his phone and started ripping Amazon to shreds. Amazon's a monopoly. Jeff Bezos, Washington Post. He's somebody who used to take Amazon and break him up. It's a monopoly. I'm like, whoa, what happened? Nothing. The, quote, most powerful man in the world saying Amazon's a monopoly and ripping him apart on social media did what? Nothing. He actually did it years later, towards the end of his term. Same thing, because Jeff Bezos really didn't like Donald Trump. And what happened then? The stock actually went up. So I have to throw this on the screen because guess what? There are political stuff going on, right? Missouri senator wants DOJ open a probe of Amazon, antitrust this, Klobuchar that, DC attorney general this, DC attorney general that, FTC scrutiny, Amazon fined $1.3 billion, Amazon antitrust case. They're laying off 10,000. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm old enough to remember Standard Oil, IBM, Microsoft. If Uncle Sam kind of scratches its chin and goes, you know what? I think we're going to look into this company because it might not be a monopoly. Does anybody in this room know what the average length of time of that is? It's 5, 10, 15 years before they ever come up with this is our decision. Last time I checked, depending on the price of Tesla and Amazon, Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world. I'm fairly certain the richest man in the world probably has an attorney or 2 on his staff, maybe 3, to fight all of this. And right now, folks, If the US government broke up Amazon, I would love it. Why? Because it would create about 12 monopolies it's like mercury. You smash mercury, it's all over the place. They would make mini monopolies. So it's kind of stupid to break up Amazon at this point. But as a fighter pilot, I'm not doing my job if I don't brief you on the risks in a brief, right? I got to brief you on not just the good, but potentially the bad. Now, I like to tell people I'm bipolar, and so am I. I'll tell you how I feel in my solo Amazon Live trade briefs as an American. I can't stand Jeff Bezos. He's a limousine liberal, right? Remember at the beginning of COVID? Working his people to death, no PPE, no masks, no nothing. Hell, their drivers were having to urinate in water bottles, no breaks and this. I mean, he's a slave driver, doesn't pay his employees enough. I can't stand Jeff Bezos. Then I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to put on, like, Mr. Rogers, my $10,000 Armani sport coat. And I'm going to look into this camera and I'm going to go, good. In a couple years from now, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to have to complain about drivers urinating in water bottles and taking breaks, because there ain't going to be any drivers. It's going to be electric vehicles that run 24/7. You're going to get a text on your cell phone that says, your package is here, go outside. You're going to go out to the vehicle, enter on the keypad the PIN that they sent you via text, and your package will slide out. They're gone, folks. I told you years ago, Amazon Pharma. You want two good names to short? It's CVS and Walgreens. Why do you need any of those? I can order everything I need on Amazon. It's here within an hour. Why am I going to go see human beings in a pharmacy? There's going to be a little drone that scans my face at the door, and it's going to drop my prescription in my hand and fly away. I guarantee you all this is going to happen. Now, turning back into Whiz and how I feel as an American, it's going to be a horror for this country. All those workers in the warehouses, all those drivers, they're not going to have jobs. They're going to be gone. Back to Gordon Gekko. That's awesome. Why did the stock go up the other day? They announced layoffs of their employees. Yeah, that's good news. What? It ain't good news if you're one of the 10,000. It's awesome news if you're long the stock. So I'm not bipolar really, but I have to tell you how I feel about stuff because it bottles up in me. But like Gordon Gekko said in the movie Wall Street, if you want a friend, get a dog. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to teach you how to trade options and make money, and that's it. All right. So those are the risks. What are the benefits of trading a single name, a solo stock? Well, guess what? You trade the same name and you potentially profit no matter what direction Amazon moves, up, down, or sideways, right? You stay focused on the news and events that impact Amazon instead of a bunch of stocks and ETFs. You become an expert in Amazon, reducing the time spent on other positions. I'm going to tell you this quick story because it makes me laugh. Doc, I don't know if he's in here. He usually, every once in a while, he's like, you keep telling that story. I will. He is my perfect example. You ready for this? Down here in Boca, got a friend who's a doctor, ortho. Whiz, I hear you're a good trader from my buddies. I need help. Met him at Starbucks. Shameless plug, even though I hate Starbucks. He booted up his laptop, spinned it around, and showed me his trading account. I'm glad he's a doctor because I passed out. I fell and hit my head. Why? Ladies and gentlemen, he had 33 positions. I'm not kidding. Hand to God. He had 33 positions in his brokerage account. He attempted to brief me. Well, I think this one's a pot stock. Yeah, I don't know what that one is. But this one, I'm like, oh, stop, Doc, stop. You think something in your account is this, and you don't know, and you're moving on to the next one. Yeah, okay. This one's like some sort of surgical stock a buddy got me into. It's down 50%. I'm going to wait till it gets back up to where I bought it in order to get Doc, 8 years of med school, right? Yeah, man, I'm smart. What's the percentage that name needs to go up to get even for you to get out? Oh, yeah, good point. But this, I'm like, all right, dude, you're done. Stop talking. Do not talk any longer. I don't want to hear about anything else in your portfolio. You're done. Simplify your trading cockpit. Ladies and gentlemen, I do this for a living. And I'm going to tell you three 3 to 5 names is a lot to manage. I'm telling you, when I was at my firm in Chicago, we had a research desk in that big trading floor over there, about 22, 25 analysts. It was their job to eat, breathe, sleep a handful of names, like know it like the back of their hand. Do you know how many times I walked over to that desk and go, hey, Einstein, nice job. You know, he completely got stuff wrong. Earnings or this or phase 3 try. I mean, I looked at these people like, dude, you have one job. Well, I didn't know that was. So folks, how can you, Doc has office hour surgeries. I mean, the dude's like, yeah, in between appointments, I kind of look at my E-Trade account. I'm like, oh my God, man. So enough. Simplify your trading cockpit. Now, if you're sitting here going, you know what, Whiz, I'm liking what you're laying down, man. You don't have to self-report right now and go, that's me. I got 10, 15 names in my account. That's insane. No offense, you can't do that. I guarantee you can't do that. Even if you're sitting here for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I've been doing this for over 3 decades, folks. Almost nobody I know can do that, period. But if you're sitting here going, does not compute, you got bit in the neck by the diversification vampire. That broker bit you on day one and you're like, I don't care, Whiz, I have to diversify. Problem solved. You know what we also trade in the solo Amazon service? XLY. There on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, is your diversification. XLY is an ETF. I have a buddy that always tells me, Whiz, shrimp are nothing but a vehicle for eating cocktail sauce. Well, guess what? The XLY is a good vehicle for eating what? Amazon, isn't it? But what else? Because 23, let's just say a quarter of this ETF is Amazon. What else is in the XLY? Tesla, Home Depot, McDonald's, Nike, Starbucks, Lowe's, Target, Booking, TJ. Ladies and gentlemen, on your screen is your diversification. If you it does not compute to only trade Amazon. Even though on your screen right now is Amazon, Whole Food. Amazon has something in every one of these verticals, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's funny. So anyway, in the solo Amazon service, we trade Amazon and we trade XLY. So how do we target Amazon and XLY for max profit? Well, guess what? I'm going to show you in about 1 minute a base position. When you sign up for Solo Amazon, we do it every Monday at 10 a.m. The Solo Amazon brief is every Monday at 10 a.m. We're going to go Marine Corps. We're going to establish a beachhead, what we call a base position. Synthetic stock or long call diagonals. What do you see in the parentheses? Protective puts. I never went flying in the F-18 and walked out to the jet and said, hey, Chief. Yeah, what's up, Lieutenant? Pull the ejection seat out. I want the extra 800 pounds of gas because I'm awesome. There's no way I'm going to die today. That's the day I would have died. I'm going to show you every position that we do has protection with it. So we're going to establish that base position. And then what are we going to do? Once we have our long-term bullish position on in Amazon or XLY, we trade the front months. What are the front months? You're sitting in a front month. November, December, January. These are the front months. Those are the back months, right? So if Amazon or XLY is going up, hey man, we'll do some bullish spreads, buy some calls. Amazon's going down. Uh-oh, who cares? Well, in the front, we stay long-term bullish. Amazon's going down. Well, we'll do some bearish spreads in the front months or buy some puts. What if it's not doing anything, Whiz? Amazon's moving sideways. We can make money trading options if something moves sideways. Isn't that beautiful? As an options trader, I can make money no matter what, up, down, or sideways. That's 3 ways. How do you make money just trading stocks? It's also 3 ways, Whiz. Yeah, but they're crappy ways. It's called the buy, hope, and pray. I buy a stock. I hope it goes up. And if it doesn't, I pray. How about you learn how to trade options? So let's go ahead and switch over to my brokerage account. and show you our current solo Amazon and the synthetic stock position. I think we put this on like last week or a couple weeks ago. It's Amazon synthetic stock. So, well, Whiz, what does synthetic stock mean? Let's just go ahead and take a stab at it, right? Synthetic would mean what? It's not kind of real. But guess what you get with synthetic stock? You absolutely get, let me share my screen again. Share. You get the performance of the stock. It's called a synthetic stock position. Now, you know what? I have a bunch of different positions in there right now. Let me bring up let's go. I'll show you the trade because it's easier than on the brokerage platform, because we actually have a bear call spread for this week on Amazon that's looking pretty damn good. So I'm going to go over here to solo Amazon and I'm going to show you the trade. New synthetic long position. So synthetic stock, instead of coming out of pocket a ton of money to buy 1,000 shares of Amazon, why don't we, for the next 2.5 years, control 1,000 shares of Amazon, or 500 in this case, for a fraction of the cost? Synthetic stock means you don't get two things since you're not a legitimate shareholder. With synthetic stock, you don't get what? You don't get to vote. And last time I checked, Jeff Bezos and his ex-wife don't care about your vote. They own more shares of Amazon than anybody ever will own in the history of Amazon. So you don't get to vote as a shareholder. I think anytime I've owned stock in my career, every time I get in the mail, like here's your ballot for it goes right in the recycling. So you don't get the vote and you don't get a dividend. And what did I tell you about 30 minutes ago with the Amazon dividend? Jeff Bezos, when he started Amazon, ain't going to be no dividend, folks. I'm taking the money and doing something with it. So synthetic stock with Amazon is the perfect choice. Here's what we do. And again, once you join, man, you are going to, I teach you all this stuff. Synthetic stock, it might look like a lot on your screen right now, but it's really not that complicated. You sell a put all the way out in the future, January 25th, and you buy a call with the same expiration, Jan 25, and the same strike. Buying a call and selling a put with the same expiration and same strike gives you synthetic stock. It's like you are exactly long stock, period. Well, what's the rest of this trade, Whiz? I told you we have a protective put on underneath it. I also call this a disaster put. What would be a disaster? Well, most people define a disaster as what? The stock or the stock market going down what? 20%. That's a good rule of thumb. The stock's in a bear market. The market's in a bear market. Why? It's down 20%. So what do? I buy a protective put 20% underneath it. So it's the 80 strike. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So starting to make sense here, right? I'm long synthetic stock on Amazon at 100. I have protection underneath it at 80. And then what's this down here, Whiz? I'm selling a front month, November. This was from a couple weeks ago. I sold that Friday's 104 calls and I brought in like $750. Wow. On your screen right now, folks, is a synthetic position in Amazon. And each week I'm selling.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
We're just seeing the picture still of the floor.
Of the floor? Oh, that's not good. Resume share. How about now?
Okay. Yeah, now I see it.
Sorry about that, man. I'm not a Zoom guy. I can fly an F-18 and land aboard a boat, but clearly I can't operate Zoom. But here we go. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse, folks. But right here, top of the ticket, those two legs right there are the synthetic stock. The 80 underneath is the disaster put, and the 104 is the short call. Okay. So this is on your screen right now, this position's a 2.5 year trade, folks. Buy, no matter what's going on currently, folks. I have got to believe in the power of tomorrow and our country's going to rise and Amazon, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully Amazon's a $200-ish stock, by the time this trade's going to expire. So on your screen right now, folks, is synthetic stock with a protective put. But let me also show you what we did on Monday. Let's go back to solo Amazon. because in the brief, again, every Monday at 10 a.m. is our solo Amazon brief. We sold more short calls out to Friday. We sold 5 of Friday's 100 calls. And then we did a bear call spread. So remember, in the background, we have that synthetic stock going all the way out into the future. So technically, we're bipolar on Amazon right now. We are long-term bullish on Amazon, but what am I in the front month right now? I'm actually pretty damn bearish. So what did we do on Monday? We did a bear call spread. I'm bearish on Amazon. Short-term tactically, I'm using calls and it's a spread. So we did a bear call spread. We sold the 100 calls saying, hey, by Friday, Amazon's not above 100. In case it is, God comes back and announces he's the CEO of Amazon and it has a rip your face off rally. We bought upside calls, bear call spread. Let's go take a look at the metrics of this trade. By Friday, if Amazon's below $100, man, we make $2,500 in 4.5 trading days, risking 5 to make 25. That is a beautiful looking trade. And using at the money volatility Monday in Amazon options, there's a 68% probability of making the full $2,500. Now, that $5,000 is based on 75 contracts. I don't give investment advice. You are the pilot in command of your aircraft, not me. My SOP, my standard operating procedure, right? As a fighter pilot in the squadron, we had SOPs. My SOP is not to risk more than 5% of my model portfolio. The solo Amazon model portfolio is based on $100,000. So my SOP says don't risk more than $5,000 on any one trade. Why $5,000? That's me. That's me. That's, you could be 2.5%, you could 50%, which would be stupid. I have an SOP. So every trade, I know that my risk is limited. And I also know before I ever squeeze the trigger on this trade when I'm getting out of it. Well, Whiz, you didn't even fire the trade yet. Yeah, I know exactly before I fire the trade when I'm getting out for max profit or when I'm going to eject for minimum loss. Okay. Quick, my SOP on a credit spread, 7, 8, 9. If I'm looking at a 70, 80, or 90% profit on that credit that I took in, that $2,600, close it. I will admit that in my younger options trading careers, I have turned many 7, 8, 9 winning credit spreads into 100% losers. This trade's up 80% right now. I'm going golfing. Breaking news, something happened, and Whiz, you went from an 80% profit to 100%. You took the max loss. Punch, don't do it. My rule for ejecting, let's say I got filled at 36 cents mid-market right there, double that credit. I'm a political science major, folks. I need things easy. 72 cents. If the spread goes up to 72, I look and see what's going on, and that's where I'd maybe eject. Then I fire the trade. So before I ever get into something, folks, I know when I'm leaving. Why? Because 90% of trading is emotional. How many of you have been in a trade and you're like, oh man, it's going against me, but Amazon doesn't hate me. Amazon doesn't know you exist. They'd steamroll your house today. Take the emotion out of trading and you have your SOP, standard operating procedure. I'm going to teach you all of this, ladies and gentlemen, even if you don't. I got Marines in this service that can't even spell the word option. So, so don't worry about it. Sorry about that, guys. Now I had the share thing blocking the comments, and I love the fact that 9 of you were like, hey, idiot, we can't see the screen. My apologies. That was dumb. Again, I'm not a Zoom guy, and I should be. So apologies for that. Any questions on the bear call spread for the week or the synthetic stock? I will teach you all of this stuff, ladies and gentlemen, how to trade options. Okay. Let me get back to here real quick because I want to make sure I keep these guys on their timeline. I know Anka and David, I am a fighter pilot. I was trained to put a bomb through a window plus or minus a second or two. So I'm going to make sure I keep these guys on timeline. So it's one of our newest live trading services here at Top Gun Options. My other briefs, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, are about 147, 147 to 167 a month. Since we only trade Amazon, I give a break on this service. It's only $97 a month. Let me say that again. I'm going out to dinner in Fort Lauderdale tonight. I guarantee you a bottle of wine is going to be more than the solo Amazon service for a month. And I just showed you a weekly options trade that I did Monday that potentially is going to make $2,500. Okay. I'll give you the links here in a couple minutes, but it's either $897 for a year, which is a nice 25% discount, or $97 a month. So let me just brief you real quick on what you get with our solo Amazon service, which is a nice discount from the other services. But I guess technically it's not a discount. If you're only trading one name or two, Amazon and XOY, why would you charge more? Exactly. So, hey, Whiz, Monday at 10 a.m. doesn't work for me, bro. I work for a living. Well, guess what? About 80% of our current members work for a living. But I send out time-sensitive text and email alerts. You will get a text message on your phone whenever I press fire. Boom. There it is right there. There's a bear put spread that I sent out via text. And then as they fire at the same time, sometimes I get the email quicker than the text. But as soon as I fire the text, an email also fires with a screenshot of the trade. I'm selling this many, I'm buying this many at this price, along with the metrics. How much am I risking? How much can I lose? Boom. That comes in an email. So you get a text alert, you get an email alert, and about 20 to 30 minutes after the brief, it takes about that long to render the recording. The recording's posted on the member page. Okay. Chris, I'm so geeked, been a subscriber for almost 3 years now, and this is the first time I've been able to attend live. I only know you via the replays. Okay, so you don't have to be there live. I'd love to have you live. You get to ask questions and stuff like that. But if not, you got the replays. Even if you can attend, you can still ask me questions because we have something called the Ready Room. The Ready Room of a fighter squadron is where you hang out before a flight, after a flight. It's like the living room. And the Ready Room on our website, you can ask me a question whenever you want. I get an email alert on my phone that says, hey, somebody just posted something in the Ready Room, and I'll go answer it. So for today, folks, because I love Anka and David, I'm going to hook you up. You're going to get our manuals, our proprietary materials, the primary, intermediate, and advanced workbook. If you went to our website right now to buy these, they're $197, man. These things are... I go back and read these things every once in a while. I'm like, let me brush up. Oh, that's right. They're $197. Let me help out the guys from South Jersey and South Philadelphia like me, political science majors. If it's $97 a month and you're giving me manuals for $197, yeah, there you go. $100. $100 is back in your pocket, folks. That's the no-brainer. I do the month. I do the 97 just to get the damn manuals. I don't like this, but my marketing team's like, this is what we call an irresistible offer. I call it stupid, but they seem to like it. So here's what you get. Access to our solo Amazon brief every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern. You get our text and email alerts, the 3 skill-based manuals, and access to that members-only Ready Room. Like I said, you can ask me in between the briefs. Bob closed a Amazon synthetic stock and all Amazon positions with the synthetic stock for a 37 grand profit. Goose, $23,800 profit in a month. Chuck, thank you, Whiz, for the 3,500 Amazon calls yesterday. I closed 3 contracts at my 30% profit target, cleared 15 grand. Also had 6 Amazon 3,900 Jan 23 calls that also hit 30% for another 50 grand. I love it. Now, if you want to test fly Amazon, solo Amazon for a month, here's the link. I'll throw it in the chat box, or Anchor or David can hook a brother up. It's topgunoptions.com/solo-Amazon-monthly. I'll let you all kind of type that in there. There it is. Thanks, David. topgunoptions.com/solo-Amazon-monthly. I'll answer a couple of questions. It's a great question about the short call. That's not true, but we'll talk. Now, I feel like the Flex Seal tape guy, but wait, there's more. Slap that's listen to me. When you go to get your $97 a month, we do full throttle training. We do 8 briefs where I go, this is the market. This is an option. This is a call. That I go building block approach from you don't even know what an option is to 8 sessions later, you're trading iron condors, straddles, strangles. It's only $195, folks. There are other people out there selling options training. I'm sorry, options education, which is the wrong word. Training gives you a skill. Education, based on most universities and colleges in this country, gives you nothing. $195, do it. This is the training you get from my intelligence sources, my trading methodology to long and short calls, bullish spreads, double verticals. It's $195, folks. That's insane based on some of the other folks that sell some of this stuff. It's a little embarrassing, to be honest with you. Totaled my Amazon trades for November, and I was in shock. Cleared 117 grand in profits this month just on Amazon. So grateful to this group for what I have learned and accomplished. I had a total of 33 Amazon trades this month that were mainly spreads and calls. I still think Amazon wants 4 grand. This is pre-split, obviously. So I will look for an opportunity to reload. Solo Amazon, folks, normally $167 a month for everything else, $897 a year or $97 a month. The discounted one is Solo Annual. So it's topgunoptions.com/solo annual. Even if you didn't learn anything today, I completely failed. But if you take this away, please do me a favor and debrief yourself, so to speak. Did the hair on the back of your neck go up when I did the whole, this guy had 33 positions? Is that you? I'm telling you guys, I've done this decades and decades, not only professional, amateur, teaching. If you got more than 3 to 5 positions, man, and you ain't sitting here for 8 hours a day minimum, if you can do that and you're printing money, I'm an idiot and I'll join your service. I'm telling you, simplify what you're doing, either with Amazon and XLY in our Solo Amazon service. $97 a month. Is there any time commitment, or is it's month to month, man? So if you do $97 for a couple months and go, hey man, why am I wasting money? Let me do the annual. Just email us and we'll bump you up into the annual. Ain't no hidden anything. It's $97 a month, period. So if you don't like it, you can split at any time. Good question. Don, it seems you might be short calls at some point, which requires a higher level of options trading. Don, a couple things. If you're selling a short call against a long, it doesn't require that higher level. Okay. Well, let me say it this way. Actually, I should have led with that. It depends on who you're trading with. Some of the old stodgy brokers like Fidelity or the Ameritrades, like they bolted on options in the past couple of years because, oh, wow, people trade options. Yeah. Short answer, Don, you just got to pick up the phone. If they won't let you do that, it's a quick email to their, I helped build Options House, folks, when I was at that firm in Chicago. It's an email to the compliance officer and the risk department, and you should get approved. So very good question there. The question, do you work only with more option experience or new? No. I work with everybody, folks. I don't care if you're a Jedi master. If you think you're a Jedi master, I'm going to make you better. If you don't know what a call is or a put is, welcome. I will teach you the basics. I take everybody here, man. This is not, I'm middle to lower pack, not folks. And you don't have to do Jedi master tactics. I love people who sit here. I do a reverse bull call spread counter, reverse split with double hedge straddle. I'm like, oh, so I can do it like this with just a couple legs. Yeah, but I said it with more words and I sound smarter. Okay, well, that's you. That ain't me, folks. I'm a political science major, poor Irish Catholic kid from New Jersey. So, all right, I think recommended minimum portfolio size. There is no recommended minimum portfolio size. That's what a registered investment advisor, broker dealer would tell you. I know for a fact, I think it's $2,000 to open a margin account. I know we got people here trading a couple $1,000 accounts, period. I know we also have 2 billionaires here, or their family offices trade here. So any portfolio size, folks, but It's not just about trading, the family-like atmosphere and lifelong friends. We have a tight-knit squadron, folks, and it puts a smile on my face. So I'm sorry, folks. I want to end right on time. I think they said 55 minutes. So at the end of the day, folks, solo Amazon, let me just throw up the web page here real quick. The 2 order pages, because I know David did it anyway, but it's real quick. Solo Amazon -monthly is the monthly, obviously, and then solo annual is the $897. Okay, so Anka, David, thank you for having me at this Friendsgiving. I'm very thankful for you all, both of you all, for your friendship and inviting me. And I'm looking forward to all the folks that are asking questions. Hopefully you get on board. And if you ever have any questions out of me, just shoot me an email, Whiz, WHIZ, at topgunoptions.com. Speaking of Thanksgiving, give thanks, man. If you're alive on Thanksgiving and you got air in your lungs, you got a roof over your head, and you got food on your table, you're pretty damn blessed. Never forget that. Okay. Have a great rest of your day, ladies and gentlemen. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. God bless all of us. Fights on, and namaste. I appreciate it.